Hello and welcome to the Magic Firearms channel. I'm your host, Eric Exton. Has someone told you that the right to bear arms only applies to militia members? Or maybe they said something like, the right to bear arms doesn't give you the right to use a machine gun. Well, on today's episode, we're going to find out that they're completely full. We'll tackle the militia issue first. This issue comes from the text of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We're going to bust this first myth in multiple ways. The first way, if you watched my previous video, link here, you'll know that the right to bear arms was given to you by your creator at birth and is an unrestricted right. Secondly, let's look at the grammar of the sentence and change a few things. What if I said, being useful to keep warm, the right of the people to build a fire shall not be infringed? Would anyone take that to mean you can only use a fire for warmth and you couldn't cook on it or use it for any one of the other numerous uses? No. But those people who want to read this in a certain way and feel that it restricts your right are going to read it that way. But grammatically, it doesn't matter. 3. Well, who is the militia? The Bill of Rights was adopted March 4th of 1789. According to the Second Militia Act of 1792, which was just 3 years later, each and every free, able-bodied citizen who is between 18 and 45 years of age shall be enrolled in the militia and within 6 months provide himself with a good musket, bayonet, belt, 2 spare flints, etc. So if every able-bodied citizen was part of the militia, then everyone has the right to bear arms, right? 4. Let's look at the original proposed text before it was shortened and abbreviated for actual insertion. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A well-armed and regulated militia being the best security of a free country, but no person religiously scrupulous of bearing arms shall be compelled to render military service in person. That was the original language. The very first part of it says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So even if you want to look at the phrases and so forth in it, in the original language, it was right there. There was no clarification or anything else needed. As for the other part of it, saying that the Second Amendment was never meant to apply to machine guns or things of that nature, once again, I think we need to look back to the intent of our founding fathers. If we look back to the Federalist Papers, which were correspondence between some of our important founding fathers while they were hammering out ideas and language for the Constitution and Bill of Rights, we can find some interesting information. In Federalist 28, Alexander Hamilton stated, if the representatives of the people betray their constituents, there is then no resource left but in the exertion of that original right of self-defense, which is paramount to all forms of government. In Federalist 29, little more can be aimed at with respect to the people at large than to have them properly armed and equipped. In Federalist 46, they discuss the perils of a standing army. To these would be opposed a militia amounting to near 500,000 citizens with arms in their hands. You have to understand the context here. They had just fought a war to beat back a tyrannical government and were afraid that the government that they would put in place might become tyrannical again and they would have to overthrow it. So they believed that no matter how strong the army of the central government was, the numbers of armed militia would be available to counter that. So did they specifically think that we should have machine guns, tanks, and so forth? Well, obviously not. They never thought of the advancement of weapons so far. But what they did want is for us to be able to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. And in this day and age when our government has fighters, bombers, submarines, aircraft carriers, tanks, etc., 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 do you really believe that our founding fathers would want us armed with just rifles in order to meet those threats? I don't. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to this channel. And please hit that like button to show that you enjoyed this video. Thank you.